Hey there, and welcome. Do you ever just feel stuck? Like, you know the kind of life you want to live, but for some reason you just keep getting in your own way. It's such a common feeling. And what's wild is that sometimes the very things we do to try and fix it are the exact things that keep us spinning our wheels. So today we're going to dig into why that is and explore a really powerful way to start moving forward again.
You know, it's totally natural to want to avoid feeling bad. When some painful thought or feeling pops up, our first instinct is usually to just push it away, right? Or ignore it, distract ourselves with something else. And for a little while, that might even feel like it's working. But have you ever noticed how, over time, those moves you make to protect yourself can actually start to cost you the very life you want to be living? And this right here is what some people call the avoidance trap. On the one hand, you've got these strategies that give you short-term relief. You know, avoiding a tough conversation, distracting yourself, it takes the edge off in the moment. But the long-term cost? It can be massive. When we get into a habit of avoiding discomfort, we can accidentally wall ourselves off from the people, the challenges, and the experiences that actually make life feel rich and full and meaningful.
So what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to a really powerful approach called acceptance and commitment therapy. And we pronounce it just like the word ACT. The whole idea behind ACT is to offer a different path. Instead of this constant war with our own uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, it teaches us how to make room for them, how to let them be there without letting them run the show so we can still commit to doing things that actually make our lives better.
I love this quote from Dr. Russ Harris. It just gets right to the heart of ACT therapy. The goal isn't to get rid of all your pain. I mean, let's be real, a full life is going to have some pain in it. That's just part of the deal. Instead, the goal is to build a life that is so meaningful to you that you become willing to feel that discomfort when it shows up, because it's in the service of something you deeply care about.
Now, ACT therapy has a few core parts that all work together, which is what you're seeing here. But don't worry about memorizing all of this. To get started, we're just going to zoom in on two of the most powerful and practical pieces of the puzzle: defining what you truly value and then taking committed action based on those values.
So let's jump in with that first piece, your values. The best way to think about values is like your own personal compass. It's not a destination you're trying to reach. It's the direction, the internal guidance system that helps you navigate your life, especially when things get tough or confusing.
Okay, so what do we actually mean when we say values? In ACT, values are all about your heart's deepest desires for how you want to show up in the world. They're about the kind of person you want to be. It's not about what you want to get, it's about how you want to behave and what you want to stand for moment to moment, day by day.
This slide breaks down a really crucial difference: values versus goals. Think of it like this. A value is a direction, like deciding to travel west. You can always be heading west, right? It's a continuous journey. A goal, on the other hand, is a specific stop you make along the way, like reaching a particular city. So if your value is to be a kind and supportive friend, that's your direction. A goal that's guided by that value might be call a friend once a week. You see the difference? You can check a goal off your list, but you live a value.
Just to get the wheels turning, here are some examples of values. Maybe connection with others is really important to you. Or courage, acting on what matters even when you feel scared. Maybe it's kindness or authenticity. As you look at these, just notice if any of them kind of resonate. There are no right or wrong answers here. It's all about what truly, genuinely matters to you.
Okay, so it's one thing to have your compass and know your direction, but the big question is, how do you actually start walking? How do you take that first step? And that's where our second key idea comes in: committed action.
Committed action is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's the doing part. It's about taking actual, real-world steps, sometimes big, often small, that are guided by what you care about. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's how your values stop being just nice ideas in your head and start becoming your actual lived experience.
And this is so important to remember. This isn't about some huge, dramatic gesture. Most of the time, living your values is about the small, intentional steps you take every single day. It's about making a conscious choice to move in a direction that matters to you, especially when it's uncomfortable and your mind is telling you to just stay put.
All right, let's get really practical. How can you start putting all this into motion in your own life, like right now? Here's a really simple 4-step way to think about it.
First thing, don't try to change your whole life at once. Just pick one area to start with. Maybe it's your relationships or your health or your work.
Then, step 2, get clear on what really matters to you in that specific area. What do you want to be about? Step 3, set one small, realistic goal that aligns with that value. And then step 4, the most important part, just do it. Take that mindful step.
So I want to invite you to just pause for a second and really think about this. Given what you truly care about, what is one small thing you could do today or tomorrow that would move you even one tiny step in that direction? Seriously, it doesn't have to be big. In fact, smaller is often way better. It just has to be a step.
As we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with this really powerful idea. Think about something you're afraid of for a second. Maybe it's a fear of failing or being rejected or not being good enough. Now, what if you could flip that fear over like a coin? Because so often, on the exact other side of our biggest fears, we find our most important values.
Think about it. The fear of being rejected only shows up because you deeply value connection. The fear of failure only stings because you value growth and contribution. So, what if that fear, that discomfort, isn't actually your enemy at all? What if it's a compass, pointing you directly toward what gives your life meaning? What if that feeling is just a quiet reminder of what matters most to you?